I cannot believe what I just found out about what's happening at the White House. The founding fathers would be rolling over in their graves. Let's get it. Hey, what's up everyone? AJ Writes Crypto here. As you can tell, I'm filling in for Ben as he is a little bit under the weather. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Ronald and I hope that you had a great 4th of July weekend. As for myself, Jada and I spent our 4th of July watching some of the show John Adams on HBO. I mean, excellent show. We have a couple episodes left, but basically it's about John Adams, our second American president, and his trials and tribulations like before the American Revolution, the Boston Tea Party, the separation from Britain, George Washington just became president, spoiler alert. But after watching that show and seeing how the first president came into power, and then to see the shenanigans going on at the White House with our 46th president of the United States, the founding fathers honestly would be rolling over in their graves. This country was founded on the values of independence, of liberty. The First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason. As a writer, freedom of speech is the most important thing in my life, and especially now considering the political norms. Joe Biden's administration has created a culture of if you say something we don't like or something that we don't want people to know about, we are going to silence you, cancel. Have you ever read the book Fahrenheit 451, 1984, Animal Farm? We are on the brink from living in an Orwellian nightmare. And me saying that isn't just hyperbole. This is the real deal. This is happening. And thank goodness for the judge Terry Doughty from Louisiana, who recently put a block on the Biden administration from contacting social media companies and to censor everything that's coming through that they don't want you to know about. They put these words out like protective speech, misinformation, malinformation, all in the name of protecting national security. Listen, when I was raised, if someone said something I didn't like, I wouldn't tell them to shut up. I wouldn't try to silence them. I would want to have a meaningful conversation to debate back and forth our opinions based off of facts, not based off of feelings. And more, the culture is just so quick to press the off button, to cancel people, to silence people. That kind of stuff has to end. And this is the right step forward. And thanks to Judge Doughty, this is the correct step forward for what our founding fathers would have wanted. They didn't put in the First Amendment, oh, you can say whatever you want except for blank, blank, blank. Freedom of speech is just that, freedom of speech. The Biden administration would just silence people who had an opposing point of view. You know, if someone was a dictator, that is the exact same strategy that they would use. And this is the exact same thing the founding fathers originally fought against, which is why America is America the way they designed it, not the way the Biden administration wants to redefine it. I also really appreciate how Judge Doughty used quotes from the founding fathers, from George Washington, from Benjamin Franklin, in the court filing of this case. If you'd like to read the court filing for yourself, we'll put it below in the description. Doughty quoted George Washington by saying, "Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing free acts of speech." Imagine that. The difference between our first president and our 46th one, there is an ocean between them, literally, metaphorically. It's disgusting. And if the founding fathers got wind of the shenanigans that were being pulled off, I'm pretty sure they would roll over in their graves. And I know most of you probably agree with me. I mean, like I said, as a writer, censorship is a really big deal to me. I do not take this lightly. And this court judgment is a win for the First Amendment, and it's a serious hit for censorship. The amount of real misinformation that has happened in the name of national security absolutely makes me sick. I mean, look at the Twitter files. Think about Hunter Biden. Think about the pandemic. I mean, if you went on Instagram or Twitter and said an accurate fact about COVID, they would have cited you for misinformation. And that's all because of our own president, our own government administration censoring their own people from getting real information. I mean, if I did a Twitter post about this imaginary apple tastes like lasagna, the lasagna people aren't going to be like, oh, that's misinformation. They would use logic and say, what apple in the world tastes like lasagna? I know that's a terrible example, but they think we're stupid. They think you are stupid. And it infuriates me, and I am very grateful that Judge Doughty made the correct decision on this court ruling. With that being said, that's really all I got today. I just kind of wanted to point out, the dichotomy between, the founding fathers, John Adams, George Washington, to the insanity we are dealing with now. And I know that the echo chamber of the left can kind of seem really loud. It can kind of seem like they're ruling the show. But without even left or right, I'm not about left or right. I'm about common sense. And if you use common sense, you'll probably end on the same side of this conversation as me. And I don't want to say that to start an argument. I want to say that to start a conversation about how we can band together and be united. Imagine that, right? Before I let you go, I just want you to think about the administration forcing the media to use these tactics. And these tactics are created to divide us. If you haven't, had dinner with a family member, if you've lost friends over politics, they are winning. This is what they want. They don't want us to unite together. If we unite together, that's how revolutions start. They want us to be mad at each other. They want us to be divided. We have to drop all of that and seek the truth and do that together. My name's AJ Writes Crypto. Have a great night.